Hi, welcome to today's reading. It's great to have you with us. Well, today we're in the section just after when Jesus had been arrested and now he's taken off to trial. We're going to see what happened to Peter. So read with me from Luke chapter 22, verses 54 to 62. Then seizing him, they led him away and took him into the house of the high priest. Peter followed at a distance. And when some there had kindled a fire in the middle of the courtyard and had sat down together, Peter sat down with them. A servant girl saw him seated there in the firelight. She looked closely at him and said, "This man was with him." But he denied it. "Woman, I don't know him," he said. A little later someone else saw him and said, "You also are one of them." "Man, I am not," Peter replied. About an hour later another asserted, "Certainly this fellow was with him, for he is a Galilean." Peter replied, "Man, I don't know what you're talking about." Just as he was speaking, the cock crowed. The Lord turned and looked straight at Peter. Then Peter remembered the word the Lord had spoken to him, "Before the cock crows today, you will disown me 3 times." And he went outside and wept bitterly. Well, here's Peter then, who had been so full of self-confidence and was so adamant that he was going to stand by Jesus. Well, he's now crashing back down to earth with a bump. He's so saddened because he's let Jesus down. 3 times he was asked if he knew Jesus, and each time he said, "No, I don't even know the man." Just as Jesus had said, Peter ended up denying knowing Jesus. Well, as painful as that was for Peter to go through, experiencing his own failure, realizing that he wasn't the person he thought he was, actually he needed to go through that to come to the point of truly trusting in Jesus. He needed to realize that he couldn't do it on his own, that he wasn't able to save himself, but rather he needed to look to Jesus. And it's in coming to that point of brokenness, of coming to the end of his own ability and realizing his own shortcomings, that he would then be able to see, I need Jesus. And do you know what? Each of us need to come to that point too, where we realize that we are sinners and that we can't make ourselves right with God. We can't make up for the things we've done in the past. We can't do enough good things to get us to heaven. We can't change ourselves on the inside. We keep on making mistakes again and again. We need to come to that point of saying, I can't save myself. I need Jesus to do it for me. We need to come to that point of brokenness like Peter did. And then we'll be able to be in a position to reach out to say, Jesus, I need you. When Jesus gave Peter that look, it wasn't a look of harshness. When he looked at Peter across the court after Peter had denied knowing Jesus, it was a look of love, of compassion, a reminder to Peter that though he'd come to that point of realizing how great his sin was and how big a failure he was, that nonetheless Jesus was still offering him grace and forgiveness. And that's what he's offering us too. So if we turn to him now and ask him to save us from our sins, he will. And he'll help us now start living a life for him, to follow him. Have you done that? Have you asked Jesus to save you like that? Why not do that now? God bless.